Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Bold and the Beautiful Tuesday, November 25th recap. Dylan killed Luna, tells Elektra the stunning truth. The Bold and the Beautiful BNB recap for Tuesday, November 25th, reveals that Dylan Sydney Bullock killed Luna Nozawa Lisa Yamada, so she told Elektra Forrester Lania Grace the stunning truth. At Forrester Creations, Katie Logan Heather Tom admitted to Brooke Logan Forrester Catherine Kelly Lang, Donna Logan Forrester Jennifer Garice and Ridge Forrester Torsten K that she was grateful for Luna's death. Katie was also thankful to Elektra for sticking with Will Spencer Crew Morrow throughout all this drama. Next on Tuesday's BNB episode, Elektra and Will decided they could use the distraction of work, so they went to the Forrester design office. That's where Will encouraged Elektra to ignore the weird "I'm the one that ran over Luna" text and just block the number. After Will made his presence known in the CEO office, Katie took him to the showroom. Will offered updates on the bizarre text that Elektra had received, so Katie was weirded out, too. Back with Elektra, she was delighted when Dylan stopped by with a cup of coffee for her. Elektra recalled how they became friends and often had coffee together back when Dylan was serving as Hayes Finnegan's Brian David Garlic art teacher. Dylan apologized for not being in touch since all the beach house horror happened, but Elektra understood that she needed time to process such an awful ordeal. Dylan mentioned getting a new phone number and ultimately beat herself up for exposing the children to Mrs. Sunshine aka Luna. Since Dylan didn't follow the proper safety protocol, she definitely felt guilty about that. Of course, Dylan also felt terrible about summoning Steffi Forrester Finnegan Jacqueline McInnes Wood on Luna's orders and struggled with the memory of being held hostage. Since Dylan needed a friend and someone who understood, she came to Elektra. Dylan would never hurt anyone on purpose, but she had something else to confess. After Dylan admitted to driving in the area near the beach house, she confirmed that she was behind the text and was indeed the one who hit Luna. However, Dylan swore it was an accident and clarified that she informed the cops right away. Elektra reeled over Dylan's stunning news, but she assured her that they'd get through this together and offered comfort. Dylan remained tearful as Elektra insisted she didn't have to carry this burden alone. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Dylan will have more trauma to contend with thanks to the latest Luna chaos, so stay tuned. The November 25th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful unfolded like a storm rolling over Los Angeles, pulling the characters into a vortex of truth, guilt, and consequences that can no longer be outrun. For weeks, grief has hung over the Forrester family like a dense fog, and today, that fog finally cracked under the weight of a confession no one expected. What began as a day of uneasy silence ended with the shocking revelation that Dylan, the young man who has hovered at the periphery of the Luna storyline, was the one responsible for her death. And the person he chose to tell was the last person anyone would have predicted, Elektra. The episode opened with Elektra pacing the dimly lit Forrester guest house, her mind knitted with threads of worry. Ever since Luna's death, she has been unable to shake the feeling that the story being told didn't add up. The official version painted Luna as simply at the wrong place at the wrong time, a tragic victim of circumstance. But Elektra knew Luna's instincts, her cautious nature, her awareness of danger. Something had been off from the beginning. What she never expected was that her suspicions would attract the attention and unraveling mind of Dylan. Dylan arrived like a shadow slipping in through the open door, shoulders curled inward, eyes glassy with exhaustion and something far darker. Even before he spoke, Elektra sensed that this was no casual visit. Dylan wasn't there to reminisce about Luna, or to share the well-worn hollow words of sympathy she'd heard all week. He looked like a man preparing to willingly walk into the fire. Elektra demanded to know what he wanted. Dylan's hands trembled as he shut the door behind him, sealing them both into the heavy silence. When he lifted his head, the truth hovered in his eyes, raw, jagged, and desperate for release. He said Luna's name with such devastation that it made Elektra's chest tighten. She braced herself, not yet realizing how much this moment would upend her world. Dylan's confession poured out in fragments, each one falling like a stone into Elektra's stomach. He hadn't meant to hurt Luna. He hadn't planned anything. It had all happened so fast on the night no one could forget. He spoke of following Luna, wanting to talk, to apologize, to convince her to hear him out after their tense argument earlier that week. But Luna, stressed and worried about the ongoing drama at Forrester Creations, refused to engage. She walked faster, determined to get away from him and get home. Dylan followed, pleading, panicking, and letting emotions spiral into recklessness. Elektra whispered for him to stop, but he continued, as if the confession had taken on a life of its own. He recalled the moment Luna stumbled backward near the loading dock, how he reached for her arm to keep her from slipping on the wet pavement. But she pulled away, frightened by how frantic he'd become. In that split second, one terrible, irreversible second, Dylan lost his footing. He collided with her. Luna's scream still haunted him. And then she fell. Elektra's breath caught. She wanted to deny what she was hearing, to reject the idea that this sweet, quiet young man had anything to do with Luna's tragic end. But Dylan wasn't finished. His voice cracked as he explained that he froze, unable to face what he had done. He ran. He let the world assume the worst, and he let Luna's loved ones drown in grief without the truth. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. Elektra stared at him, her face a mix of shock, fury, and devastation. She demanded to know why he was telling her now, after all this time, after allowing everyone else to agonize over unanswered questions. Dylan's answer was simple: he couldn't live with the lie. He hadn't slept since Luna died. Every time he closed his eyes he saw her falling, heard her gasp for breath, remembered how his cowardice afterward had sealed the tragedy. Elektra had been the one person who looked at him normally since the accident, the one person who didn't seem to suspect him. But that only made the guilt worse. He needed someone to know. Someone who could decide what happened next. Elektra moved away from him, pressing her back to the wall, as if distance might somehow make the confession untrue. She asked whether he was expecting forgiveness. Was he hoping she'd keep this secret? Did he think she would protect him instead of Luna's family? Dylan shook his head. He wasn't asking for anything. He was ready to surrender. He simply couldn't take another day of silence. He needed to say her name out loud, to admit the truth before his mind fractured completely. Elektra's eyes filled, but not with sympathy. Her grief for Luna flared into anger. She told Dylan that Luna had been a light, a rare, gentle soul who tried to see the best in people even when they didn't deserve it. And Dylan, in his fear and desperation, extinguished that light. Elektra warned him that this truth would not be contained. It would spread through Forrester, through Luna's family, through the press. His life was about to change forever. The weight of those words didn't appear to surprise him. In fact, Dylan seemed relieved. He nodded, saying he would turn himself in. He only wanted Elektra to hear it first, to know that Luna's death had never been intentional. A tragedy, yes, but not malice. But Elektra wasn't ready to hear excuses. She told him that intention didn't erase consequence. Luna was gone. Her future was stolen. And now the truth, painful as it was, must be told. The final moments of the episode centered on Elektra standing in the doorway as Dylan walked out into the cold night. She watched him go, unsure if he would go straight to the police or crumble under the pressure before he got there. But one thing was certain, nothing in the world of the bold and the beautiful would ever be the same after tonight's confession. And for the Forrester family, the storm has only just begun.